A young street vendor is walking around selling spicy lentil packs. From behind, a gentleman calls out, "Stop, I want to buy some." He buys all the packets from the young man and then takes out a large bill from his pocket to pay. The vendor says, "I don't have change for this." The gentleman replies, "No problem, go get it changed and bring me the remaining amount." The young vendor leaves. In reality, the gentleman is testing him. He needs an honest young man to work in his home and wants to see if the vendor will return or not. After walking a short distance, the vendor becomes tempted when he looks at the large bill. He thinks to himself, "He doesn't even know who I am or where I live. I should just run away with this money." And he disappears. The gentleman waits for a long time, but the young man never comes back. Disappointed, he thinks, this person wasn't honest at all. While he is still standing there, another street vendor arrives, this time selling bread. The gentleman calls him over and buys 2 full bags. Again, he gives him a large bill. The second vendor says, "Sir, I don't have change." The gentleman replies, "Go nearby and see if you can get it. I'll wait here." The vendor goes off to find change. Nearby, he asks a girl who is talking on the phone, but she says she doesn't have any. She tells him, "I just saw another vendor pass by. Maybe he has change." The vendor goes in that direction and meets the same dishonest vendor who ran away earlier. He asks him for change, but that man says, "Are you crazy? It's a big bill. Just keep it. I did the same thing and fooled him. You should do it too." The honest vendor replies, "No, I wasn't raised that way, and my conscience doesn't allow me." He walks away, calling the other man foolish. Meanwhile, the gentleman continues waiting and begins to doubt this vendor as well. After waiting a long time, he decides to leave. The vendor keeps asking people for change until finally someone tells him there's a shop around the corner where he can get it. At the same time, the gentleman returns to his car where his wife is waiting. He tells her, "It's very hard to find an honest person in this city. It looks like 2 people have already deceived me." He starts the car to leave. Just then, the vendor comes running and says, "Sir, please stop. Here is your remaining money." The gentleman is shocked. He immediately steps out of the car and says, "You came back just to return such a small amount?" Impressed, he says, "I salute your honesty." The vendor replies, "My parents never raised me to deceive anyone." The gentleman then introduces his wife and explains, "We came here today to test people. We need an honest young man to work in our home. Congratulations, you've passed the test. Would you like to work for us? We'll offer you good pay along with food and accommodation." As a reward, the gentleman gives him all the remaining money. The honest vendor happily accepts the offer. The gentleman hands him his card with his address and phone number and says, "Come tomorrow morning." The gentleman leaves and the vendor looks up at the sky, overwhelmed with happiness, thinking about how fate has been kind to him. If you enjoyed my videos, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.